Hey everyone, today we're going to pull the carburetor off this AT1MX or ATMX 125. Going to check the jetting, make sure everything is in there what is supposed to be in there for the stock carburetor. Then we'll fire it up. See if we can do some fine tuning on this thing, maybe get it to run the way that it's supposed to. Right now it's blubbering and sputtering. I checked the timing. The timing's right on. Points are good. They're clean, but it's got to be in the carburetor. So let's get this carburetor off of here and pull it apart and see what's inside. So let me get you set up here. I don't know if you can see okay, but I got to have room to get in there and pull things apart. So when I got this bike, it had a little cheap carburetor on it. So I had a stock one on the shelf for one of my other ATMX builds, and I pulled it off. All right. Let me get you reset up here so we can get this thing pulled apart. Okay, that's a little bit closer. Okay, let's see. Start with the main jet. It calls for, it should be a 190. And that is a 190. I doubt if you'd be able to see that, no matter how close I get it. Anyways, it does have a 190 in it. Get this bowl off of here. I could check the slide and see if that's the right number. I know what size all the numbers are supposed to be for the parts in this carb. Just gonna have to go one by one and check everything. I had a gentleman post, he commented on one of my posts for this bike that he's got one of these and that he put a wiring harness on it and lights and registered for the street. He says, boy, that is a fun bike on the road. Okay, I cleaned this carburetor out. I don't know if you can see that in there. It's got some icky stuff on it. When I drained it, it was pretty nasty looking. This carburetor, I ran it through my ultrasonic cleaner, cleaned it all out real good. I'm going to replace the O-ring on here. Pull this pin out. I know the float level's good. Yeah, see, you can see, it looks like there's, actually it looks like there's water in the carburetor. I don't know if you can see that bubble in there, in that gas. But yeah, there's like a, in that fuel, there's something in there. There shouldn't be. So, pull this other stuff apart here. There's no numbers on this that the O-ring goes on. Get a socket. Get a screwdriver to get that pilot jet out of there. Okay, this is supposed to be a 60. And let me see. That is a 60. There's no way you guys are going to be able to see that. It's just too small. Okay. Okay. This is supposed to be the slide's supposed to be at 2.5, which it is. N8. No, that's what it's supposed to be, an N8. That's what it says right there, so that's right. Everything on here is correct. All right, so everything in this carburetor is correct. So let me put this all back together. Well, that's tight going back in. There it went. That's in. Let's see. New O-ring. Okay, now this should be tight in there. Yep, that's good. The pilot jet is clear. I blew out the circuit. Everything is good to go on that. This is good. Okay. Pilot main jet back in. The needle looks good. There's no issues with it. There's no pits, nothing in there. Float back on. That's nice, the needle fell out. This float does not have a tab on it to keep it from going too far and letting the that's weird. Most floats have that on there. Okay, let's get this back together. I'm missing the gasket. I'm surprised it didn't leak. I've got a gasket. Let me find my gasket. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Get down in there. All right, that's all back together. Choke works. All right, let me get you repositioned here so we can put this carburetor back on. Bring you back in a minute. All right, let's get this carburetor on here. We'll go ahead and put the slide in there now. Get that started. Drops down in there. Line up the, there it goes. Slides up pretty high. Doesn't sound like it's bottoming out in the carburetor body. There it is. That's closing all the way. Come here. I'm gonna have to get a correct hose clamp from here. Okay, now let me get some gas mixed up and put in here, and we'll get this thing, see if we can get it started. Bring you back in a bit. Okay, well, put some gas in it. Let's see if it starts. Let's see if I can piss off some neighbors and my wife. Gas on. See if the bowl leaks. Nothing yet. Well, choke on. I definitely need to put something on this shift, on this Kickstarter to keep her over rotating. Exhaust is clogged. Wants to, it's almost like the needle I have got the idle adjusting screw all the way in. And it's not even touching the throttle. Doesn't want to run. I have to hold the throttle in that position. actually hold the throttle open. One of the exhausts off of my 175s and put on here, so it's got a better muffler. That crankcase is full of oil. This is what is coming out of the exhaust. So that exhaust is full of oil. Let me go get an exhaust off another bike and put it on here real quick, and we'll give that a shot. I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, I've got a exhaust off of 125 Enduro. Let me put this on here. I already took the expansion chamber off. It had a lot of oil in it. I don't understand what's going on with it. But I know this one's clean. Let me put this on here. See if it makes any difference. If anything, it's going to be a lot more quiet, keep my wife happy. Put the spring on here. Let me check this air screw. See what it's at. 1.5. 1.5. All right. Start it back up and see what it does. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Let me get you over here. See down in there. You see that it's about quarter throttle right now. Like I said, I don't know if you can see that or not. Look in there. See, it's about quarter throttle. That's strange. It shouldn't be that. I have no idea what's going on with it. Well, it starts and it runs. Well, I got the reading up. It had a 190 main jet in it. I dropped it down to a 180. I checked the needle. The needle was supposed to be a 4F13. It had, let's see, it's got a 5GN38, whatever the heck that is. I had another needle, and it's a 4F15. But I put it in, the bike idles great. Throttle response is awesome. So evidently that was it. So I've got I've got a stock air box for it. I've got the air filter. I had to order the hose that goes from the carburetor to the air box. I've got fork seals for it. I'm going to put those, that'll be the next thing I do on it. Probably do that tomorrow. I need to get new tubes in the tires also. But yeah, it sounds so much better. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sneak it out and go up the street and see how it runs. I'm not going to film that. Maybe I can. Let me get this thing off the rack and I'll cruise it up the street and see what it looks like. I'll bring you back in a minute. Alright. Let's see what it does. This thing hauls butt, but the clutch is slipping. I think that's it. Well, that's it. It runs really strong, but the clutch is slipping a little bit. When you hammer it, first gear, shift into second, you can feel it slipping, but then give it a few seconds and it's okay. So this one, get the fork seals in it, get the chamber put back on it, front number plate. I want to get a single cable throttle for it instead of the stock double cable and taking one side out. Anyways, that's it. Okay, next episode we'll be doing the fork seals and putting the exhaust back on it. But anyways, on that note, y'all have a great one. It's New Year's is coming up. Like and subscribe if you would, and I'll see you on the next video on this bike when you get some more of it done. Thanks and have a great day.